guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Jessica from Mission Move Physical Therapy. In this video, we are going to go ahead and talk to you guys about hip flexor strengthening. So hip flexor strains and injuries are super common, especially in runners. Basically, it presents as pain in the front of the hip, especially with a lot of walking or running or anything that involves getting your leg up. That's what the hip flexor does, it flexes the hip. So we're going to go through progression of strengthening exercises that you can try if you are having some pain or weakness in that area. Another reason why you might want to do that is if you're feeling or go through this progression is if you feel like a chronic tightness in the front of your hip and you feel like no matter how much you stretch it, it never gets better and it's constantly just feeling tight, you might actually have some weakness in that area. And like I said, super common in runners. It can happen in anybody, but runners are definitely one of the most at-risk populations for weakness there and injury there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go through this progression. We're going to start off a little bit easier and then progress to some more challenging ones as we go. So the first one, all you need for this exercise is just a little mini resistance band like this. This first one, you don't want something super strong, and you can just get these on Amazon and all different resistances. But you don't want something super strong for this one because it's going to be just way too hard if it is. So you want like a medium to light resistance band. We're going to go ahead and lay down on the floor. You're going to put the resistance band right around your midfoot. Okay, so this first one that we're going to do is going to be a hip flexor isometric, which basically means that the hip flexor is working without actually moving the leg. Okay, so it's just working and stabilizing. So we're going to be working this left side here. You're going to hold both your legs at this 90-degree angle with the band around your midfoot, and then you're just going to go ahead and take your right leg and straighten it straight out and down. And this hip flexor is working really hard to prevent the movement, okay? So it's activating the hip flexor, but we're not actually moving the hip flexor. And you're just going to stay all on that one side for about 8 reps if you can, and then switch to the other side. Okay, so that's that hip flexor isometric. From there, you can make this harder by turning it into an actual concentric, so a shortening phase of the muscle. So like in terms of a bicep curl, an isometric would be just holding a curl position and just sitting there and holding it. A concentric would be actually lifting it up. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for the hip flexor now, is actually shorten the muscle. So in order to do that, you're going to leave your leg straight, keep the band where it is, and then you're just going to take that side you want to work and just pull straight in. Hold it for a couple seconds and then bring it right back down, slow and controlled. So pull in and control it back down. So now we're actually shortening that hip flexor, working it in a little bit of a harder way. Okay, so that would be the second level. From there, we're going to go ahead and progress to level 3, which is going to be standing. So same idea. Basically what we're going to do here is a banded march. I'm going to go ahead and get over here so I can hold on to something. Totally fine to hold on to something so that you don't lose your balance doing this. And now basically we're going to do that same concept, but now we just have more gravity coming down on you, so it's a little bit more resistance than it was when I was lying down, but same basic concept. We're just going to march, pull the legs straight up, hold for a second, and then slowly control it back down. So when you do these, make sure that you're not letting the knee come out to the side, because you really want to work that hip flexor by coming straight forward. Hold for a sec, and then come back down. Good, just like that. So same idea, I would do like 2 sets of like 8 to 10 per side with that one. From there, we are going to go into a long lever strengthening. So we're going to go ahead and you can use a kettlebell or you can use a weight of some kind, and it's just going to kind of give you a target to go over. So again, we're going to get down on the floor. We're going to work this right side here, kind of just be in like a straddle. Try to stay over the top of your hips, and then you're going to go ahead and lift over the top and back down. So the hip flexor is working really hard to lift this long lever of a leg all the way up and all the way down. So this is harder than it is to just march, right? Because that's a shorter lever because I'm bending my knee. So now that the leg is straight, that's a lot harder on the hip flexor to have to do that, okay? So again, with this one, depending on how hard this is for you, for me, this is pretty tough. You're maybe only gonna wanna do like maybe 6 to 8 reps of this one and do 2 to 3 sets. and just go up and down. And then of course you're gonna do both sides. And then lastly, this is a really good one, especially if you're a runner, so it's gonna kind of simulate that running motion. We're gonna add some plyometric or some dynamicness to it by adding speed, right? And power. So you can use a wall, kind of get at a little bit of an angle with this one. Start with one leg up, and then we're just quickly gonna go down and up. Okay, just to get some like dynamicness added to that hip flexor. And you can do maybe like 8 to 10 per side there, just to really work it and fatigue it. Because when you're running, you're doing that motion like millions of times, depending on how hard or how long you're running for. So you wanna be able to train it in that bigger range, faster, more explosive power, so that when you do run for those long distances, the muscle is prepared for that type of stress. If you want to get really crazy, you can do that same thing on the wall that I just showed, but you can also add a band to that as well, a light one, because you don't want to be crazy with that, but that'll make it even harder. So hopefully this was helpful. If you guys are having some hip flexor pain or injury or strain there, then definitely give those exercises a try. If you guys have any specific questions about your specific situation and injury, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, call, text, reach out. We'd love to work with you. And if you guys found this video helpful, please like and subscribe.